Ole Miss is an interesting team because I think a lot of people look at Ole Miss, and I feel like this has been the trend the past couple of years, right? Transfers, transfers, transfers. Like Lane Kiffin is bringing in guys. That is definitely something, he's taking advantage like a lot of other coaches have, and they've got some talent coming in. But as we know, too, they got some pretty good talent coming back, especially at that running back position with Quinshon Judkins and kind of what they can do offensively. So I know Ole Miss is one that you also like to go over 7.5 wins for this one.
Yes, I do, and I had them to go over 7.5 last year as well, and they got there with that win at Texas A&M. Uh, it was either I think it was the first Saturday of November, so got it with 3 games to spare, and that's a good thing because they lost all 3 of those. But yeah, Lane did a great job again in the portal. He got 20 guys, 8 of them were 4 stars. His transfer specific class per 247 Sports composite was ranked fifth. And, I mentioned with LSU, anytime you bet an over, you got to, feel good about the backup quarterback. Well, I think they feel good about three guys. I know
Yeah.
Walker Howard doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's one of those 4-star transfers. And Jaxson Dart had a pretty good year last year, but and we'll see how things go here the next couple of weeks. But um, all things equal, and I know they're not because Dart's got a year, on him in the system. But I think if Spencer Sanders' shoulder is right, I think he is probably going to be the best guy for them, especially the way Lane likes to run his quarterbacks. Not that I mean, Dart ran for 614 yards last year, so he can obviously run it too. But Sanders, 41 career starts, and look, he was having a really good season last year. I mean, they were undefeated in that the same day Alabama was playing Tennessee, and they had that double overtime thriller at TCU where they come up short in OT. I want to say it was double overtime, but that's when he hurt his shoulder. And then he was okay. They bounced back the next week against Texas, but then it really started bothering him again, and their season just went downhill from there. And then they were just an inch away from winning the Big 12 the year before that. So anyway, Lane's got some good QBs. He loses a couple of good wide receivers, but that late portal add and Zachary Franklin was huge from UTSA. I mean, he's the all-time leading receiver in UTSA history by a lot, by like nearly 1,000 yards. They also get Trey Harris, 21 career starts at La Tech. They've got a tight end transferring in that was first team All AAC at Memphis. Defensively, they were terrific early in the year when the schedule was soft and kind of struggled down the stretch. But, he got some reinforcements via the portal. But I still have some concerns about the defense. But, Quinshon Judkins, absolute stud. Bentley has played a lot of football at SMU, was banged up most of the year last season, and then just kind of was relegated to like third or even fourth string status at times. But he's a guy that I think will contribute more this year. And, you look at the schedule, I initially marked them 6-2 with 4 swing games being at Tulane in week 2. I have them losing at Alabama. I have the LSU game at home as a swing game. I have a swing game at home with A&M where they're a 3.5 point favorite in the games of the year. Having losing at Georgia where they're a anywhere from 18 to 19.5 point dog in games of the year, and then at Mississippi State being that fourth swing game. And like I said, 2 losses already factored in, and they're a 1.5 point underdog in the Egg Bowl in games of the year lines. But out of those 4 swing games, I think they're going to get at least 2, and I think they will be 8-3, and will be a winner on this over 7.5 play going into the Egg Bowl. In my opinion, like I said, I think they lose at Bama, at Georgia. I think they get the swing game at Tulane, although it will not be easy. Willie Fritz and Michael Pratt will certainly be ready for that one. And I think they, I would if it was pick 'em, I would pick LSU to win in Oxford, but I do think they knock off A&M at home and that would be that 8th win. So where they would be 8-3 going to Starkville on Thanksgiving night.
Yeah, the schedule's interesting, isn't it? Because like you said, you think back to last season, how they ended the year, but you look back at the early part of the schedule last year, like, boy, it's hard to find a loss for them. And obviously, they got off to a great start this year, a bit different with that game at Tulane. You got Alabama, LSU, like there are a lot of
Yeah.
interesting games early on, and it's not that it's flipped either, because there's obviously some challenging games on the back end too, like you said, with Georgia added in there as well this season. So, yeah, Ole Miss I think is one of the more intriguing teams in the SEC. Just because of all the transfers too. So